In the shadows of international politics, certain entities operate outside the public view. One such entity is the Wagner Group. Born amidst the chaos of the Donbas War in Ukraine, the Wagner Group, also known as PMC Wagner, quickly established itself as a force to be reckoned with. This private military company, funded by the state, found a guiding hand in Yevgeny Prigozhin, a man who enjoyed close ties with Russian President Vladimir Putin. It was under Prigozhin's leadership that the Wagner Group was able to provide the Russian government with something invaluable: plausible deniability. With the Wagner Group carrying out military operations abroad, the Russian government could wash its hands of any direct involvement. As a result, the Wagner Group became a powerful tool, a shadowy extension of the Russian state, used to further its interests abroad while maintaining a safe distance from international scrutiny. The Wagner Group, under Prigozhin's control, began to expand its operations far beyond the borders of Russia. The Wagner Group's influence was not limited to Eastern Europe. This private military company, funded by the Russian state, extended its reach far beyond its birthplace, impacting global conflicts in Syria, Libya, the Central African Republic, and Mali. In Syria, the Wagner Group played a substantial role in supporting the regime of Bashar al-Assad, a known ally of Russia, in the midst of a brutal civil war. Their operations were not merely advisory or logistical, they were boots on the ground, engaging in direct combat against rebel forces. In Libya, the group's presence was less overt but equally significant. There, they provided both tactical and strategic assistance to General Khalifa Haftar, in his bid to control the oil-rich nation. This support was not without its quid pro quo, with Russia benefiting from favorable oil contracts and a strengthened geopolitical position. The Central African Republic and Mali also felt the presence of the Wagner Group. In exchange for security services, these regimes granted lucrative mining contracts to Russian companies, turning a blind eye to the group's questionable methods. However, the operations of the Wagner Group were not without controversy. The group has been accused of committing war crimes including murder, torture, rape, and robbery. These accusations, backed by substantial evidence, have tarnished the group's reputation and raised serious questions about the ethical implications of private military companies. Yet, despite these serious allegations, the Wagner Group continued to grow, unfettered by international criticism. Under the leadership of Yevgeny Prigozhin, the group expanded its operations, asserting its influence in global conflicts with ruthless efficiency. Despite the accusations and the controversy, the Wagner Group continued to expand under Prigozhin's leadership. The group's actions and impacts serve as a stark reminder of the complexities and challenges of modern warfare. In 2022, Prigozhin made a shocking admission. The man behind the curtain, the puppet master of the formidable Wagner Group, was none other than Yevgeny Prigozhin. This revelation sent shockwaves through the international community, casting a stark light on the shrouded operations of this state-funded private military company. But Prigozhin wasn't done surprising the world. In a move that seemed straight out of a Hollywood thriller, he led an armed rebellion against the Russian Defense Ministry in 2023. A bold stand, a power struggle, a rebellion led by a man who held the strings to an army of mercenaries. This was a battle not just for power, but a fight against the establishment that had once been his ally. Yet as quickly as Prigozhin's rebellion started, it came to a tragic halt. In a twist of fate, Prigozhin, along with Wagner commanders Dmitry Utkin and Valery Chekalov, met their end in a plane crash later in 2023. Three men who had stood at the helm of one of the world's most formidable private armies were gone in an instant. The loss reverberated through the ranks of the Wagner Group. Prigozhin, Utkin, and Chekalov, despite their controversial roles, had been the driving force behind the group's operations. Their leadership had navigated the murky waters of international conflict, leveraging the Wagner Group's might to secure power and resources. But now, they were gone. The men who had led with an iron fist, who had commanded the respect of thousands of mercenaries, were no longer there to guide the Wagner Group's future. The group was left leaderless, its future uncertain and its direction unclear. With the death of its leaders, the future of the Wagner Group was thrown into uncertainty. This marked the end of an era, a period of power, influence, and controversy. The world watched on, waiting to see what would become of the Wagner Group, without the men who had shaped its destiny. The impact of the Wagner Group, however, was far-reaching. This private military company, funded by the Russian state, established a formidable presence beyond its national borders. One of the key regions where the Wagner Group extended its influence was Ukraine. By the end of 2022, estimates of its strength in this region ranged from 20,000 to an astounding 50,000. This deployment was no small feat, reflecting the group's strategic importance and the heavy investment in its operations. But the Wagner Group's global footprint didn't stop at Ukraine. The African continent also felt the group's presence in a significant way. Here, the Wagner Group offered its military prowess to regimes in exchange for lucrative mining contracts. This arrangement provided an income stream for the group while simultaneously securing political allies for Russia on the global stage. These operations were far-reaching. By the close of 2019, Wagner had established offices in an impressive 20 African nations. This extensive network underscored the group's ambition and its strategic maneuvering in regions ripe with resources and in need of security services. However, it's important to remember that this expansion came with a dark side. The Wagner Group has been accused of numerous war crimes, casting a shadow over their operations and alliances. Yet, despite these allegations and the death of its leaders, the group's influence persists. The Wagner Group's controversial legacy continues to shape the geopolitical landscape, even after the death of its leaders. Its impact, both positive and negative, is a testament to the power and reach of private military companies in today's globalized world.